Okay, so since I've been away, the Ombudsman, Energy Ombudsman, has been contemplating the complaint that I put in about SSE. It's been a while. It was done a little while ago, and it's only just come out now, following several more of these letters which came while I was away. They have yet to be put back in the return to centre box, but this is an example of one of them that it was working out to be one or two, maybe two or three per month, and they're always to the occupier, and they always have been since the first time they received the cancellation notice. 3 of them. Obviously you have to send it in 3, and they obviously, then we had all the final bill, paying of all of that, and the refund that they gave me, which near enough 700 quid, and that obviously paid for my Thailand trip, which was quite nice. So thank you to SSE. Even though that money they gave me back was mine, I didn't know I had it, because basically they kept it in their bank account as payments on account. So when they paid me back that money, it was quite nice. But I've come to the conclusion that the Ombudsman is in it together. And some people out there will say, yeah, well, we told you that, we know that. And they are. They're all in the cartel together. But what really pissed me off was in the actual final result. So I'm going to show you this. You can read it at your leisure if you want to stop the video and zoom in or whatever. But I'm going to pick on several points, because it sort of analyses the whole system of my complaints. And also it's pissed me right off, and one of the reasons why I have rejected the Ombudsman decision. I can accept it or I can reject it, and based on the points that they want to issue as being a judgment, even though they have actually upheld all of my complaints, they've added a few more things which I don't agree with, so I have actually rejected the final result. So let's have a look. Now it is quite small print, but you can just about read it. So first point is sort of round about here, if you can see the mouse pointer. It appears that SSE have treated your account as a home move and that you are no longer responsible for the property, which is a lie, because I never said I was moving. As I'm cancelling my account, I did not say I was moving. Obviously, this fact, because it then opens a new account under the occupier, and the occupier is a fictional entity. It's not a real person, it's not a person, it's not a human being, it's not a living person that you are. It's a fictional character in the system. So the occupier, for whoever is then responsible for the property, well, it's still me, so it's never going to be changed, whether that's owner, new owner, tenant or landlord. So I have explained that you did not move out, but you have not moved out, and did not agree to their prices. That was the original reason that I gave, because they wrote to me and said, you can cancel your account if you don't like the prices. So I did. However, I am unable to find any evidence that shows you have tried to move suppliers, right? Okay, and this is also what pissed me off. I've also checked through the national database, and there is no evidence of a request. So there is a national database of meter numbers, and what they do is they swap. When you swap company, all they do is give the new company your meter number, and it's recorded on this database that they have access to, so they can check to see if you're with somebody. There is no law, no statute, and no act in this country that says that you have to be registered with any of the cabal. It is not legally required. You do not have to do that. But what they've said is that because they haven't swapped suppliers, and they've found no evidence of that, what they're saying is, even if SSE cancelled your account on the assumption you were moving out, you are responsible for all of the energy consumed. Even if, I'll read that again. So this means that you are still responsible for the premises. You are responsible for all energy consumed, even if they cancelled your account on the assumption that you were moving out. This is called a deemed contract. Well, I'm sorry, but deemed contracts, or anything else, is complete bollocks. And I do not agree to be under contract. I do not agree to any sort of contract. There is no contract. If there was a contract, they could provide you with one. Certainly they can't prove that they supply the electric that you're allegedly paying for, because they don't supply it. So there is no contract. And there is no contract unless you accept it. Now they're trying to get around this by saying that there is a contract, because they say that there's a contract. They can't just make it up, but they have. There is a contract because they say that there is a contract, including a consumer moving into a new blah blah blah. And they're saying that they can do this without agreeing to a contract with a supplier. So what they're saying is they have a contract with me, but they don't say it's me, they say it's the occupier, but the occupier is a fictional character. If they put my name on the bill, then there will be trouble, because my account is closed. So, beware. Right. So, and because I'm not changed suppliers, or they can't see that I've changed suppliers, they haven't asked me about the meters yet, but that's my last sort of arrow in the bow, as it were, because later on you'll see why. But they're claiming that you can have a contract without you agreeing to it, which is absolute rubbish. It can also happen when the existing contract ends, but the consumer continues to use energy, which is what has happened here, apparently. So I've cancelled the contract. There's a deemed contract with a fictional character, and that fictional character is still using energy, and now they found out it's me. They're going to try and bill me for something that they don't know I've got, because there's no evidence of usage. Anyway, so I've not moved away. Whilst the bills do not have your name on them, they are addressed to the occupier, which is yourself. Excuse me, it isn't. The occupier is a fictional character. I am a living person, living man, and real, and that is not the same thing. So the occupier is not me. If you're trying to imply the real term, the occupier, interestingly, when you look up the word occupier, it says someone who lives in, works in, or is using a particular room, building, or area. So someone is living there or using it. So someone is the one being addressed. So who is someone, you may ask yourself? Well, that is a very good question. If you look up someone, used to refer to a single person when you do not know who they are or when it is not important. Someone living in the house has to pay the bills, and this is exactly how language is important, because someone is nobody. They can't bill you because you are not someone. Anyway, whatever. So I therefore consider the bills to be your responsibility. As you've not moved away from SSE, I have, because I've cancelled my account. I will ask that SSE provide you with an up-to-date billing of outstanding money, your tariff rates and the dates in question. Well, they're going to have a very hard job to provide the up-to-date bill, because they don't know what usage. Because what they're going to do is they're going to try and get estimated bill. So if this cannot be paid in full, blah blah blah. If you do not wish to remain a customer of SSE on a deemed contract or otherwise, you can apply to move to another provider. Excuse me, I don't need to do that legally. There is no legal requirement. And why would I do that? Right? There is no contract. You cannot prove that there is a contract, deemed or otherwise. There is no bill because you don't know the usage. It's not your meter service. It's mine. And you don't supply any power. So, there we go. But you are reliable to pay all charges if you decide to go to another provider. So if you'd like to stay with SSE or move to another supplier, it may be worth asking blah blah blah, blah blah blah, such as sending an engineer to read the meter if you do not have a smart meter, blah blah blah. Yeah, whatever. You will go on to being harassed by SSE, and then, well, I'm unable to comment on whether you consider harassment, as this would be a legal matter. I am of the opinion that you are using the energy, and SSE is entitled to be paid. SSE are required to take all reasonable steps to ensure the occupier is paying for the energy that they are using. Yeah, right. First of all, there's no supply. Second, there's no contract. And third, they have no idea what energy is being used. So, you explain that you'd like my details removed under General Data GDPR, and I have said to them in an email, and they replied in a letter saying that they could not do it because I owed the final payment, which was paid. And in that letter they said if it is paid, that they will do it. Now they're saying they won't do it. Now, I am unable to ask SSE to do this if they have a legitimate interest, such as being paid for the services they have provided. If they have any issues surrounding this, you can raise directly with the Information Commission Office, which I have now done. And I'll show you that in a moment. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. And then they go on about that £110, which they offered me originally. But they couldn't guarantee that they would remove my data. So, yeah. What do they want to do? This was the decision they made. In conclusion, you're still responsible for the premises, and they've supplied me with energy, which is a lie. And obviously they can. So this is the reasons why they're going to do. So she's going to recommend that they send me an update bill, provide me with a payment plan, an apology letter for nothing, and £110. So that is exactly why I've refused this result. So this morning I'm thinking they have to remove my data, GDPR. There is no contract, there is no deemed contract, there is no contract. They do not do anything for me. They have my information. They need to remove it now. And they have said in that letter, they said that if there was no arrears, which obviously they did that deliberately, they gave me back the money and then said I owed it deliberately. That was to keep the scam going. And then of course they could refuse to cancel the account on that basis. But however, since I paid it, they have no excuse. And in that letter it said that they will look at it again. But they will not do it because the Ombudsman have said they have a deemed contract. It's obviously going to try and keep the scam going. So I've gone on the ICO, the Information Commissioner's Office, and this is a place where you can talk about GDPR, your data. I've done the complaint, so obviously you can see that, and I've also got the email as well, so they're going to investigate this. I have sent them all of the information that I've sent to the Energy Ombudsman, including the Ombudsman report, which says in there that they refuse to remove my data. But I've also sent them a letter where they said that they will. So, but GDPR, they got nothing to do with me, no contract, no legally binding anything, then they should remove my information. It is law. So basically, the next step is getting SSE to remove my information from their database. Hopefully they'll learn, because of course we still have the county court judgment, the CCJ letter here, which finds them guilty, so they owe me 1,500 quid. There is another form that came through on email while I was away, which obviously I couldn't do because I couldn't print it out. I need to post it, but it basically confirms that the person responsible is the CEO, because obviously they're trying to say, well, we can't register this CCJ, they can't do it against a business. And the whole point about if you are going to do this process, you need to find out who the CEO is and go for them. Go for a living man or a living person, because you cannot do it against companies. Companies are dead entities. They are like occupiers. You're dealing with the system. You have to work within the system. Basically, this judgment is going to be against the guy, the CEO. So I've obviously clarified that in my document, and hopefully when they get that, because basically this CCJ and all of the county court stuff has been ignored. They've ignored everything. So this guy's going to have a bit of a shock, because the next step after that, once they've assigned this CCJ, will be the bailiffs. And I'm going to be going a whole hog, because I'm not going to let them get away with this. This is just unbelievable. So there we go. That is a very, very long update on the situation. So we are now trying to get my data removed, even though the whole system is corrupt. It is a cartel of corrupt, fraudulent utility billers, because they are utility billers, they're not suppliers. Please do not confuse the two. They are fraudulent. You are paying for something that has already been paid for, certainly. And also, what's the next steps? Well, I'm not going to preempt anything. I'm not going to put it out in the universe, because what you put out there comes back. So I'm not going to give you any sort of predictions about what may happen. I will play it by ear. Obviously, the Ombudsman was sort of expected. I had high hopes that they would see it as being just a harassment case, but they obviously decided that the SSE, the corrupt organisation that they're working with, need to keep me on the hook, because that's what they're doing. They're keeping you as a cash cow. They don't want to see you go, and in my opinion, SSE are bad losers. Yeah, they're just bad losers. Bad players as well. Anyway, that's it for today. Have a very good day, and I'll catch you next time.